Vando is truly a jack of all trades. He is the owner of Models Mart Limited, has assistant directed in various productions, and has authored plays performed in London, Germany, and Chicago. Mr. Vando recently released the second edition of his book, Shakespeare for the 21st Century, and is currently working on a project called Song of the Lark. Welcome to Open, Mr. Vando, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Ramon. Thank you very much.
I'm fascinated by the history of your works and certainly what it is that you bring to light, if you will, as far as Shakespeare is concerned.
Well, I fell in love with Shakespeare as a teenager, about 13 years old, by seeing a production in Manhattan of Twelfth Night. Saw the production, fell in love with it, and realized there were expressions being used by the actors and things that I had heard before. And I had the epiphany that I've been quoting Shakespeare all my life. I didn't know it.
Isn't that interesting?
And in point of fact, we all quote Shakespeare all the time, common phrases. We have, so many of us, especially as youngsters, have this fear and apprehension about Shakespeare. But really, we shouldn't, because it's very much part of our daily language and our ideas and thoughts.
And who we are, really.
And who we are.
What in particular, aside from the context of Shakespeare's works, was there anything else in particular that drew you to it? Any of the acting that portrayed and developed?
Well, over the years, I've seen some great productions of Shakespeare, both here in the United States and in England. And when I was a student at Columbia University, I also got to work as an assistant director with the Royal Shakespeare Company in London. So I've been terribly spoiled by having worked with some wonderful, wonderful people. And the whole idea of this book, Shakespeare for the 21st Century, is to bring Shakespeare to life for a new generation, a new century.
Yeah.
His wit and wisdom are every bit as telling today as they were over 400 years ago. And one of my goals was to sort of break down this barrier that people have about their fear of Shakespeare. I was mentioning everyday expressions like this. I have 10 for your viewers out there. See how many of these expressions they think come from Shakespeare out of these 10.
Okay.
Nothing succeeds like success, neither rhyme nor reason. Thanks for nothing. There's method in his madness. He has eaten me out of house and home. A lot of parents have said that. The course of true love never did run smooth. Neither a borrower nor a lender be. Misery acquaints a man with strange bedfellows. Love is blind. All's well that ends well. Well, the answer to the question is, they're all quotes from Shakespeare.
They are, even though they may have been tweaked a little bit to conform to the styles of today, if you will. But certainly, every single one of them was familiar to me.
Right.
And I suspect in many of them familiar to our viewers as well. But as far as tell us a little bit more about the book, and I know it's in its second edition.
It's in its second edition, and one of my particular reasons for doing this edition is that the first edition came out in '96, and this edition came out just a few months ago. For the last 10 years, I've been a teacher at the New York Film Academy. I teach acting Shakespeare at the New York Film Academy. And I wanted something in addition to give my students at the end of our classwork. So that was one of my motivations for doing it. But I wanted people to see Shakespeare's quotes and things in a new light, in light of the 21st century, and also with humor.
Well, that was the point I was going to get to.
Yeah.
Where do you inject the humor that our viewers can
put their arms around? For example, who would Shakespeare have speak some of his famous lines today if he were alive? For example, can one desire too much of a good thing? Donald Trump. I'll speak daggers to her, but use none. O.J. Simpson. God forgive us. To say nothing, to do nothing, to know nothing, and to have nothing is but a great part of your title. Job description of the Vice President of the United States.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
Okay. That. I thought you were going to apply a different name to that last quote.
Well, that's part of the book. You're encouraged to put your own answers to the quotes. For example, speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you.
Okay.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's campaign coach. little digs like that, and translations, and use for models.
And the book itself, now is it available for at the bookstores, Barnes and Nobles?
It's only available at Amazon.com, and there it's available for your Kindles. And I recommend, it's very inexpensive, like $9, $10 or something like that. I recommend all those who have Kindles to get it that way, because any questions they have about any of the quotes, and there are over 700 quotes here, any questions they have about any of the references or the quotes themselves or word meanings, they just touch the button and it gives them a complete explanation.
Oh, that's very advantageous.
That's really, really wonderful. That's the 21st century.
That's true. That's true. But going back maybe to the 20th century, at least, not that long ago, what are some of the successes that you witnessed or experienced personally as it relates to either some of your students or some of the productions with which you have been involved over the years? Well,
my experience is not limited to Shakespeare. I have worked as an assistant director for Broadway productions, pieces by Arnold Wesker, like The Kitchen, and other pieces like that. But I'm also a writer, and I've had plays and musicals, because I also do musicals, book and lyrics to musicals, done here in New York, in Chicago, and in Europe. And the important thing for me in my playwriting is that I've been influenced by Shakespeare, just like so many have in the past. And when you're influenced by Shakespeare, it just opens up another whole level of creativity and world enlightenment.
And I guess, I won't guess, I'll ask you, is it fair to say that really embracing Shakespeare and his works, and then taking it beyond that and having an opportunity perhaps to perform one of his works is perhaps one of the most purest forms of thespianism, if you will?
Oh, absolutely. I teach at the New York Film Academy, and you would say, well, why teach Shakespeare at the New York Film Academy? It's acting for film. Well, Shakespeare is one of the most cinematic writers of all times. And his plays make wonderful movies.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it's very important that our actors at the Film Academy get a background in Shakespeare, because that's Shakespeare and acting for the theater is the basis for all acting.
They're not mutually exclusive, are they?
No, they're not. Thank goodness.
So David, for our viewers, anyone who might be interested in, has an inkling for acting, has an inkling for wanting to learn more about Shakespeare, and perhaps being able to participate in your classes, how would they go about that?
Well, my classes are taught in the 1- and 2-year programs, but they also have summer programs, 4- and 8-week programs for adults. And then non-Shakespeare classes and things for teenagers in the summertime here in New York. So that's available for those who are interested in acting. And, I encourage people from all the boroughs to come to Manhattan to come see the free productions of Shakespeare in the Park this summer.
Shakespeare in the Park, absolutely.
That's no cost, there's no excuse. That's a wonderful thing to take advantage of.
And for those that are interested, how would they get in touch for more information?
Well, go to NYFA.com.
NYFA, it's what? NYFA?
FA,
okay.
New York Film Academy, and they can get all the information they need there, or they can also get the number to call the school.
Okay.
But that would be my suggestion.
Outstanding. Well, David, thank you for sharing your thoughts and your experiences on Shakespeare with us this morning. I'm sure that our viewers certainly appreciate that, and I can tell you that I, for one, will certainly be going on online to purchase that book, because it certainly has intrigued me, and it's sort of like a guide that I'd like to use moving forward.
Thank you.
Good luck with the second edition, David.
Thank you very much.
Okay.